Big topic right now is Trump's first 100 days in office. What's your thought?
My thoughts. I feel like it's been a successful 100 days. I think Donald Trump he has got a lot of stuff done. Uh, one of the biggest things is securing the border because we were bleeding on average around 10,000 people a day, and at the worst there was I don't know 15,000. I think was the one of the bigger numbers they saw. So throughout Biden's entire 4 years that he was in office, they said there was something like 20 million crossings across the southern border. Donald Trump has shrunk that down to about somewhere between 100 and 200 per day, and most of them they catch. That's that's phenomenal.
That's wild. That's a good percentage.
Yes, it's a very good percentage. Right behind that is along with the 20 million, and I know this is a more contentious subject with a lot of people, but Donald Trump is trying to deport the vast amount of these people, and it's going to come in waves. But what they've started with is the most violent illegals that are coming across the border. People like the gang from Venezuela, Tren de Aragua. They're trying to get rid of them. They've designated them as terrorists under a new classification. It's easier to deport those people than it is to go through the process that the liberal judges and the liberal courts are trying to force them to go through. The other ones are the gang members like MS-13 from El Salvador. One of the more popular ones is the Maryland Man.
The pushback on trying to get terrorists or gang members out is insane to me.
It seem odd. This is new territory for a lot of Americans. This is something we haven't seen before, where you have a president in Joe Biden who brought in 20 million people with very little due process. It was all executive orders and new directions. Uh, they come across, they claim asylum, and then you just put them on buses or airplanes and ship them all throughout the interior, right? A lot of these people, and it doesn't have to be the most violent, but there's a lot of them that are now getting Social Security numbers so they can file taxes, they can get tax returns. They're getting Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, which is interesting. This is not something that's ever been done before in the United States. And you literally have judges trying to fight this.
But Trump's trying to fight it, and that's good.
Yeah, he's trying to fight the good fight, and they're pushing back. They're filing appeals. He's trying to do his best to follow certain court directions that seem like they're more rational. The more irrational ones, I won't say ignore, but I feel like they have certain legal mechanisms in place where they can say, "Hey, this isn't necessarily law, so we're not going to follow that."
All right. What else has happened in the first 100 days of Trump?
I feel like the other big storyline that's gone on is Elon Musk coming in with his Doge team, and they are finding waste, fraud, and abuse left and right. As of this date, they found, I want to say, right around $160 billion that they have asked Congress to cancel out in the next budgeting process.
Do you feel those numbers legit? A lot of people questioning.
I feel like it's pretty legit because I think the fraud is much higher. They found at one point within the treasury system. So whenever you do budgeting, I mean, if you've owned a small business, you understand that you have to do counting a certain way.
I mean, just personally. I mean, your household, you have to do. You have to do budgeting. Yeah.
Right, right, right. But whenever you're filing all that stuff for the IRS, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you
yeah.
you you have to code it a certain way so
Yes.
it makes sense and you can track it.
Yeah.
And especially whenever you're doing big business, somebody like the federal government who spends trillions of dollars a year, you better be paying attention to stuff with a fine tooth comb.
Saying where it's going. Yeah.
Yeah. And what they found out through the Treasury is there's account codes you have to put next to stuff depending on where it's going to go. And I think they said, I don't know the timeline, but I think they said they have found 4.7 trillion that they cannot trace because there's no account codes behind it. Which is, can you fathom 4.7 trillion?
No.
So all the taxation the government brings in 1 year is around 4 trillion. So you have to know that the expenditures that's going out through the Treasury, 4.7, you're talking about multiple years.
Would that not balance us?
We haven't been in balance for a couple of decades.
No, I mean, if we could get that back, would that not balance us? That they found that kind of spending?
No, because I mean, to balance the budget, I'm not exactly sure I don't know what our deficit is right now.
We're too far gone.
Well, the national deficit is 37 trillion.
Wow.
We've spent that much more than what we've taken in over. This is since George Bush has been president, since the year 2000, right? But every year, I mean, Barack Obama spent a lot of money. Trump 1.0 spent a lot of money. Some of it was because of pandemic response. Biden spent, I want to say, over 7 trillion. Whenever he was that was just one bill. It was like 7 trillion. It was absolutely insane numbers. It was crazy.
Good sized bill.
Right. And that might not have been one bill. I could be talking out my ass there. But Biden spent.
Comment below if he's talking out of his ass.
Right. Spent a lot of money. 7 trillion more than what we brought in.
Yeah.
I think is what I mean to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been spending a lot of money that we don't have. And now you have a president that's trying to cut out a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be there. He's cut out a lot of DEI stuff within the government. He is asking colleges to stop spending on DEI.
They're fighting back. They're fighting
back. Places like Harvard. That's a big one. He's getting ready to cancel out some of their federal grants that they get. Some of these colleges, I mean, you got to keep in mind, some of them are getting nearly $1 billion worth of grants to continue studying certain things that they're giving money to. And he's just done with it.
Yeah.
The other part of that is you seen on some of these Ivy League campuses and some of these really big schools where they're having a lot of anti-Semitic protests whenever the war between Israel and Hamas started. Obviously, October 7th in 2023, Hamas attacked Israel and killed about 1,200 civilians and soldiers. There's been a very heavy response from Israel. Some of the actions can be called questionable. I don't know that much about it, so I can't comment. Some people are saying they're attacking refugee camps, dropping bombs on refugee camps. But we all know that Hamas loves to blend in with the people. Right? They will stick their weapons caches in hospitals and schools. They're firing missiles off the top of radio stations, schools, hospitals. I believe one of their command centers was in a hospital where they have senior citizen patients and people that get hurt on a daily basis going to the hospital, people that need surgeries in the hospital, and they're just indiscriminately firing rockets off the top of this sumbitch.
How thoughtful.
I mean, it's straight. Well, you make yourself a military target. And this is one of the reasons why Israel didn't attack for a long time, is they didn't want the collateral damage. But this war has drug on for a long time. There's been a lot of resolutions in the UN trying to condemn Israel. There's a lot of questionable acts by both sides. I don't know what the right answer is. I would definitely say I feel like Israel has a right to defend itself against aggressors.
So Trump's first 100 days, Ukraine, Russia, have we pulled out of peace talks?
Not yet. There's been a lot of hiccups along the way. You have Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, that sometimes has a hard time controlling himself.
So did we sign the mineral deal?
I think they said yesterday that was a done deal.
Okay,
Like
that's
it's
what I thought.
I don't know if it's signed. I don't know what the exact date is set for that. But I think they said everyone finally came to an agreement that this is a good thing and we're going to do
Okay,
it.
so we should all be for Ukraine now. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Ukraine. Let's send a couple $1 trillion over there now.
Ukraine.
Ooh. Russia, Putin. He has a hard time controlling himself. There was a rocket attack. I believe it was on Kiev, the capital city of Ukraine. Whenever Trump is out there touting, "Hey, we're getting close to a deal," and then Zelensky says, "Oh, we're never going to give up Crimea," and then all of a sudden you got like 100 missiles shot at Kiev overnight. Both sides are
It was a little bit erratic.
a little bit erratic.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get this thing done and this war ends. That would be a great thing under Trump.
Okay, anything else? Just real quick. First 100 days. Tariffs, are they working? Quick hit.
Tariffs, yes, they're starting to work a little bit. A lot of pressure is being put on China. You've had 100 countries that have come to the table and wanted to establish new trade deals with the United States.
Yeah,
That's doing well. The stock market took a hit. It's coming back. The bond market has taken a hit. I haven't seen much on that yet, but I'm sure it will start to come back because the stock market has started to balance out a little bit.
Yeah. MAGA, baby.
MAGA.